1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, hello. Let's just make sure that this is live. For some reason, it's not showing yet. I think I'm on a different tab. One, two, 1, 2. I don't know. Am I live? Yes, I am. Okay, I'm starting to be live, I think. Okay, everyone, how's it going? Really excited to have you all here today. We're going to be they're coming in very soon, so we're going to talk about kind of like just different things with the Mudita Kompakt and what it's available. So I'm really excited to be able to have this conversation with them. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments or live. So make sure to have them there. And if you want to pre-order the device after this, after we're having this conversation, there's a link also in the live and in the description below. So we'll see if, as you get your questions answered, they will allow you to decide whether this is the device for you. And I think hopefully a lot of us will get to decide that very soon. So we have Michal. He is he's the CEO of Mudita. He's here with us, and I'm really excited to have him. More members come quite soon, so stay tuned for that, and then we'll have that. But Michal, why don't you just introduce yourself and give us like a kickstart of this session?
So excited to be here. Thank you for inviting us. I'm Michał Stasiuk. I'm the CEO of Mudita. Together with me, we will have Sasha Alexander Karowin, who is the product manager for the Kompakt project. And we will be happy to show you some of the demos and how the product works as for today. And I saw there is some questions already on the chat.
Absolutely.
And the community, so we'll be happy to answer those as well.
Yes, and we'll have a demo. We'll have a demo of a Kompakt here. Yes, we'll have Alexander and Michal. They're going to be here. Thank you for being here, by the way. We're really excited to have this conversation. We're going to start with a few kind of like maybe meta questions, and then we'll get to audience questions. But one of my questions, and I think one of those ideas is just like, why Kompakt, right? So like, that's the first thing that a lot of people will say. There's a lot of options out there. There are a lot of availabilities, let it be Light Phone 3, Wise Phone. Why would anybody say, hey, I want to have the Mudita Kompakt instead of all of these other devices?
Yeah, so maybe I will take this one. Kompakt is unique in several ways. So first of all, we designed it to be digital minimalism phone first and foremost. Some of the alternatives are not necessarily designed for that purpose. Like some of the people who go into digital minimalism and try to have more balance in their everyday life while using tech, like go into dumb phones, for example. And there are several differences between what we did in Kompakt and the general dumb phones standard on the market. Like, first of all, the Kompakt is technically more up to date. We have USB-C, we have Wi-Fi, we have Wi-Fi calling. So the device is like more modern, and for that purpose, I believe it will be useful for a longer time. And there are some other several features we really like about the device, that it's about the design of it, right? So for Mudita, the design is quite important and always have been. And we really liked ink aesthetics, so in many of our products, like for example in alarm clocks as well, we've used ink displays, and for the aesthetics of ink for our products, I think go very well with the minimalist design that we created for Kompakt. There are several other important features of the device I would like to mention. So first of all, the device is privacy oriented in terms of the software architecture and also hardware architecture as well. So we designed this hardware. Not sure if you can see this. This is like hardware kill switch.
I'll place you a little bit bigger for now so you can showcase.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay, so this is like hardware kill switch, right? And it was something that it's quite difficult to do in the Android platform itself, because the Android itself does not support it. So what this does is physically cuts off some of the peripheries of the device, like GSM, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and microphone and camera, and so on. So this is like a privacy focused device to make sure that if you have like you may want to make sure that you have control over your device. This is something that Kompakt have covered. And in terms of software architecture, we decided to go without Google services. And this is also quite important feature for us, for the reason that this is how we make sure that there is no data monetization. So this does not cover all of the points, but I would say for me this is the most important differences between like Kompakt and other possibilities.
That's good. That's good to know. We'll get to one more overarching question, and then we'll get to more of the questions from the community. So, talk to me about the difference between Kompakt and Mudita Pure. So, Mudita Pure had its difficulties, and I've seen some of the questions. We will probably address that, but how is this different than your first rodeo at the starting the device, doing the Kickstarter? It's been 3 years now since that Kickstarter, and about 2 years since you guys released Pure to the world. So what have you learned since then, and what are you applying to the philosophy and to the ideas of Kompakt?
Yeah, so we have learned a lot. I will also take this one. Sasha, don't mind if Sasha doesn't mind, but I was part of the Pure team, and Sasha joined a bit later, so he wasn't part of the team at that point of time. So there is a lot of differences in terms of how we did the project. And first of all, Pure was designed to be the lowest possible SAR phone in the world, and most likely we did that because like the head SAR level is 10 times lower than the average phone, but it came with a cost and difficulties, and I would say that the trade-off was not good enough. There are still people using Pure actually, and in some areas it works good enough for people, but this time we wanted to go with things quite differently. So the phone was designed first of all to work well in carriers network. We've been much more conservative in terms of planning the project and communicating the roadmap to the world. So at this point, and when we were starting the Kickstarter campaign, the device was fully functional in terms of basic phone functions. It is still work in progress in terms of software, but like the basic functions all work. We do have the PTCRB certification already for the global version done. So this we are quite convinced that this is something that we can rely on in terms of like the antenna quality. And also we did some testing already. The testing is in progress, but we have tested in several locations in the US, Australia, Europe. That included also the drive test. So we are convinced that that the phone works. And the testing was done for the global version. The US version testing is still ahead of us. But for the US, we will add some more bands for the US, so it should work even better than the global version, which actually the test result came fine from the global version testing in the US.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that probably in the near future. All right, well, let's get started with some of the community questions. If you guys have community questions, make sure to put them in the live stream and the live chat. I will be going over some of those, so make sure to put them there. So first question, a lot of these are coming from the forum, and Raz has been collecting them. So first one is, will the battery be replaceable? If not, how many full recharge cycles, or what is the expectancy that this device will last?
Yeah, so the battery will be replaceable. We are actually still in process of improving the battery efficiency. So this is not done yet. We are still improving. At this point, we have tested that 6 days on standby is what we already have. And the battery will be replaceable, of course. We will have the battery on our online store available for at least 4 years, maybe longer, but at least that. I would say it's not such an easy process that someone could do it in their own home, maybe a bit too difficult for that. But the battery will be replaceable.
All right, perfect. Next question is, will the dual active SIM tray also allow for micro SD card in places of a second SIM? And is it going to be like a hybrid system, or how is it going to work for the dual SIM tray?
Yeah, so Sasha, maybe you will take this one. Go ahead.
For sure, we have, as it's mentioned in Kickstarter page, we have a hybrid SIM slot, so you will be able to use 2 physical SIM cards or 1 physical SIM card plus micro SD card. Also, you will be able to use a SIM, but in phone it will be in compact. You will be able to use either 2 physical SIM cards or 1 physical and 1 SIM card. So it's dual in this way.
All right, perfect. Next question is, what is the source of the maps in the Maps app? So do you guys have any source for that? And will it detect traffic, or what is the kind of like idea that how is the maps going to work?
You're muted, Sasha.
Sorry. We have offline maps, and we will keep them updated on our own server. So you always will have optimized maps for your phone. Generally, our maps are based on Osman application. So it has almost all the features from there, but optimized for using in our phone. Now for traffic, we will not have traffic information in this application because, as we mentioned, it's offline map, and it's the biggest benefit of those maps because comparing to other online maps, you don't send any information like in Google Maps. Google always knows where we are, but in offline maps, we don't send any information. We don't gather any information of you. Only in use is the GPS receiver in the phone, which shows your location. And so, as Michal mentioned, we have offline switch, which turns the phone into offline mode. So you will still before you can download maps of the regions you need, and then you can use it in offline mode. So you will have also different navigation modes in those maps.
All right.
Yeah, because the GPS is one-way communication, right? So
yes, yes, very important for those who don't know how GPS works. GPS doesn't send your location; it's only a receiver.
Okay, so it's only receiving the information and displaying it.
Receiving a GPS signal from yes.
Okay. All right. So one of the things that a lot of people are kind of getting used to right now, and this is a personal preference for me personally, I don't necessarily use banking apps or maybe identification apps on my phone, but a lot of people do. And this being Android, a lot of people are wondering, how will the banking apps be handled, or applications like your health insurance, NFC, things like that are kind of becoming a little bit more of a requirement for people who want that convenience in their lives.
Sure. So the NFC is part of the device. So device is hardware ready for that, but the banking apps will not be available in in a store to download. Technically, it is possible to sideload an app, but in terms of banking apps, I personally would not recommend this because, I wouldn't expect your bank to offer you an APK for their app. So probably you would need to find an APK from a third-party source. And for the security reasons, I would not recommend uploading a banking app to the device at this point. This is one of the features we're actually thinking about, because we see that demand and those questions being asked. We are considering going into that area in the future. The phone has ability to use QR codes, and in some parts of the world, like in Asia, the apps, payment apps based on QR codes are quite popular. Not so much in Europe, I would say. I guess not so much in the US. So we are looking into different solutions, but when the product ships, the banking apps will not be available on the Kompakt.
And what you're saying is just essentially that if you were to sideload a banking app, you're trusting that third party to not have made any modifications, and that's your banking data, which is very sensitive, and you definitely don't want that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't recommend uploading third-party banking app.
Absolutely.
On any device.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I understand. That is very important. Okay, so we have a few more questions coming up, and then I'm going to transition around 25 minutes to a demo. So if you guys can do a demo to see, hey, how it's working, and then maybe people have other questions regarding the demo. So one of the comparison devices a lot of people go is the iPhone 3. So Mohammed asks, compared to the iPhone 3, what other features can we expect besides what you have already placed on the Kickstarter?
Okay, so we are thinking about several new apps, and we plan to base those decisions on how to allocate our resources in the future in developing Kompakt, because we do plan to develop Kompakt in the future after the product premieres. We are planning to add new features, and we will base that decisions on user feedback. So most likely when product goes on the market, that's when the most important feedback will come into the company through users. Before that, we plan to use surveys and talk to our community, which is quite engaged in what we do, to talk about what features we should do and what are the most important. I could mention a few that come up quite a lot. First, internet messenger is something that we are looking into. Second, contact synchronization with external systems. FM radio is something that some of the people are asking about, and we are considering that. some people are asking about the streaming service as well. So like all of those topics we are considering, they will not be part of the Kompakt ecosystem at the release time when we ship the product, but we will be developing new apps after the premiere based on the user feedback. Regarding the Lite Phone 3, well, we know about the Lite Phone as much as they said on the internet. So that's not a lot, not a lot of information to compare the two devices.
Sure. Yeah. No, and I think people are just saying like, what else can they expect? To kind of support, or what are you? It's in your mind that you have heard feedback, and of course we have feedback here to look into that.
Sure.
Okay, so a few more things, and then we'll go to the next portion. So will voice to text be considered as a feature for input? I rely on heavily for devices without a physical keypad. That's Daniel's question.
It's one of features we consider, and as Michal mentioned before, so we will not have voice to text on the premiere, but we will look to the user's feedback, and if we will see that it has high priority, and it's very important for users, so for sure we can add it to the future updates.
One last thing, kind of summarizing from here, people want to know the side loading capabilities. What have you tested? What works? What do you recommend or not recommend to use? When it comes to the side loading abilities.
Yeah, so we've tested, like, for example, messaging apps. We've tested Signal, we've tested WhatsApp, and first of all, the apps do work. But the user experience is far below what we want users to have on Kompakt, and that comes from different like features of the device. E-ink being the most important one, I would say, because the apps are not designed for e-ink, so the user does not have the black and white user interface that we've designed, and for that reason, like the captcha functions without colors are a bit tricky. So we were able to sideload an app and to talk to different people via the WhatsApp and Signal, but the user experience is not what we are happy with. Other thing to keep in mind is no Google services, right? So for this reason, some of the sideloaded apps might run into some errors. But in general, what we plan to do is test several apps based on what users will tell us they would like to have, and show our community how the apps work and look like on Kompakt before product ships.
Maybe I would add here that except messengers, we've tested one of important apps for users is Spotify. It also works well on the Kompakt while using it for side loading.
Yeah, I would like to add that my dream is to have our own messenger designed for Kompakt itself that has the ability to connect to different systems through like bridges or ports. This is something we are looking into, but it's way too early to promise anything.
All right, perfect. Well, that wraps up the first part of user questions. Guys, if you have any questions, make sure to put them in the live chat. But we will be going to a demo now, and we're going to be bringing in to the main stage the Mudita Kompakt. Oh, look at that, it showed up. We're going to change that so that it is the main stage. Let me see if I can find a way to highlight. Oh, that's pretty good right there. That way you can have like pretty much on its own. Okay, so show us some of the good stuff when it comes to the Mudita Kompakt, what you guys have planned and looking into it. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry, most probably I will partially disappear from the camera because I need to turn to handle the compact device.
Yeah, no worries. Go ahead.
Most important that you need to remember, it's a prototype version. We still work on it, so we want to make sure that all users will receive good working bug-free applications. So please remember about it. So here, first I would like to show you, I have a fingerprint set, and fingerprint sensor is hidden in the power button on the right side of the phone. So just small touch is enough to unlock. It works well. Here you have a launcher, the main screen, on which you will see some status bar, time, and our current date. So also on the first screen, we've put two most essential applications for the phone, phone and SMS. But for them, I will come back in a moment. So here under the more, you have hidden some more apps which will be available for the premiere. And I can demonstrate you some of them, how they work. Let's start from some simple ones. For example, calculator. You can see how it works in this case. Like that. You can set. So I will quickly show you some of applications. So you can set here alarm, change alarm sound, repeatability or name of alarms. Here you will have the list of alarm. Oh, I can set alarm. Yeah. So alarm ring in 39 minutes. Okay. Chess, for example. I can start a new game. Currently we have a chess application in which you can play with a computer. So you can change the elo level, like a beginner or intermediate or advanced. Select when you want to play. So it's very basic features for this app. And here you can start playing with a computer. I'm not a good chess player, so sorry for my bad moves. I just wanted to show you how it works generally. So
that was a terrible move. That was a horrible move. Again, no worries. Just keep.
I just wanted to show you. Okay. Well. Maybe Maps application for which we work. Here I have already enabled text mode of navigation, which you can use. I don't know if you heard it, but also we have voice navigation here. It will be available in all 8 languages, depends on the system language of the phone. Or we can switch to the map view, so it shows some kind of navigation. Here we have roads. Well, we can zoom out a bit. Loading. Yep. As I mentioned, it's still in progress, the work on these apps. Okay, well. Next, what I can show you. For example, we can have some notes. Can add new notes. Also, you have suggestions here available already. And here we'll have a list of notes available. What else I can show you? So we have some voice recorder, music application, meditation timer, reader, camera, calendar, and so on. Also, from what is unusual for this phone is the third button, because most of you are used to the task manager, which allows you to switch between different applications. But in case of compacts, we decided to change the feature. Using the right button, you will have a control panel with some change of lighting or sounds, some quick availability for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, hotspot or airplane mode, flashlights, settings, or here we have also weather application. Oh, so as you can see in Warsaw, it's quite cold already, so we have winter. And you can look for some other locations. Okay, let's check New York City, for example. We have 9 degrees. Yeah. Okay. So also maybe I can show you the most important feature is about calling. Wait a moment. Calls. Or maybe I will show you it here. Is it visible? So yeah, here we have some calling.
Yeah, maybe to comment on what Sasha is showing, I would add that we did design the user interface to be adjusted for e-ink, to work well with e-ink, and it is specific for several reasons. Like part of the technology is the ghosting, which is getting better and better with each released e-ink screen, but still it's part of the technology. So we designed the UI to minimize the effect, and also our team have worked extensively to make this e-ink responsive as possible.
All right.
Yes, actually, it was a good point. You need to remember that all those applications are redesigned to work well on our NX screen. So that's why, actually, as Michał mentioned before, we don't recommend sideloading because we cannot promise good responsiveness because those applications will be not designed for our screen.
Yeah. No. That again, it's understandable. You guys are letting the users know that you can use these devices, but at the end of the day, you can use these apps, but they're not going to be the best when it comes to the kind of like reliability, and it may not look good, or it may not be usable just because the e-ink screen is just a little bit more difficult to use. All right, perfect. Well, let's go back to a few questions, and then we will go to, give me 1 second. I'm going to boot the Kompakt for now, but then we're going to come back to it and have another demo. If people have a few extra questions about it, I like some of these things. So let's go over. I saw a few more questions about cost. So one of the things is cost. So right now, what does it cost, and what is it going to cost once it's out of the Kickstarter? So more data, more fiber. That's
so at the moment the Kickstarter offer is $299 USD, and when the product will be in regular sales, it will cost 439 USD /euro.
okay.
So this is like a good time to log into the Kickstarter to make sure that the better price is still available. We are still selling the tier 1 option, so for 299 euro. And like there are several tiers when that first one reaches its limit, but until the final sale, it will be between 299 and 439.
Perfect. One more question that people had. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Come on. Somebody was asking about two-factor authentication. So I want to make sure I'm right here. So can you speak about necessary apps like two-factor authentication for work? Will those be supported, or are you thinking into supporting them via your own custom app?
Yeah, so the 2FA can work on the device via SMS at this point. This is one of two-factor authentication methods available. We will not have an app when the product releases for 2FA codes, but this is also something that we are looking into. It is possible that the app will come up later in the new product updates and software updates after the premiere, and we will base that on user feedback. And we have to just weigh how important this option is for our customers compared to other options, to allocate the software resources accordingly.
So next question is, how durable is the screen without a screen protector? What have you conducted any drop tests or something like that can help us understand the durability of the?
Sure, of course. Go ahead, Sasha.
Yes, actually, to be honest, I don't remember the exact heights we conducted, but they conducted the test. But we had different hardware tests of Kompakt, including like dust cameras, UV, UV index tests, also.
And also the scratch test. So we do
tests and drop tests of the box, of the phone, and it works well, to be honest.
So, Sasha, if you do not remember the exact standard number of the scratch test of the screen at this moment, I do not remember as well. We will publish that in a FAQ on a Kickstarter page for everyone to know. But the scratch test went well, and I'm sure it will be satisfactory. And we will post the exact standard of the screen resistance.
Sounds good. Awesome. One more question. This is more logistics coming. Is this model going to be shipped from Europe? He's asking because of importing the device and import fees and things of that nature.
Yeah, so the product will be shipped from Europe. First two batches for sure. First US and first global batch will be shipped from Europe. It is produced in Asia, but we will take the products into our Warsaw warehouse first, and then we will ship from Poland to several countries. In terms of the markets that we ship to, because I believe this is also what the question is about. For now, we ship to Canada, US, European Union countries, some of the countries outside of EU, but in Europe, and of course Australia, New Zealand. We will be looking into going into several new markets based on the market demand. For the markets outside of US and EU, there might be a particular certification requirements. So we will base this decision to go into a new market on market demand for the product.
So there are more bands coming to. This is a question from Daniel. I think he's mixing them up, but I believe you added an extra band. I think you added 71, not 66, correct? So which ones are going to come? Have you finalized that? What is going to be looking like?
Yeah, so the bands are finalized for the US. And we did not add 66, we did add 71. It was actually based on user feedback, and we checked with our technical team whether it is possible, and it turned out that actually it was. So the bands should make sure that the band's code should be more than enough to work in the US. And this is what our tests have shown. And if anyone has like maybe considerations for the bands, I just want to mention that we do have this 14 days satisfaction guaranteed option, and you can test the device in your region. And if anything is not satisfactory, we will return the whole amount of money to you. This is exactly what we did with Pure as well in the past. So we are confident that you will like the device. And for that reason, we created this 14 days satisfaction guaranteed options for the Kickstarter campaign.
And then you're talking about definitely things that are within the control, right? So just kind of like the idea that it's not you didn't like the feature set, it's more like it didn't work for you for some reason and your carrier or whatnot. You're trying to guarantee that, not necessarily like, oh, you have buyer's remorse. And what are the definitions of this?
Yeah, so actually when you have buyer's remorse, the 14 days guaranteed would also cover that. So you,
Okay.
if the device is not damaged, you can return it, like no questions asked. But we like having the PTCRB certification, going back to the bands again, we are feeling secure with that certification passed. But if anyone is hesitant because of the bands, I encourage you to test the device and use this option for testing. And if you do not like anything about the device and the device is not damaged, you can return it.
All right, sounds good. That's awesome.
Maybe I would add a bit about radio. That except as Michał mentioned, we have a PTCRB certification which shows for global and US version too, which shows that the phone will work in North America. Also, we make radio tests in Canada, in the United States, in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, which shows that the phone works there. It works in different countries, areas, cities.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Maybe a few more questions. So if somebody wants to check, still talking about the bands, here's like, is there a page that they can check how Kompakt would work on their country, or do you guys plan to have something like that?
Well, we do have limited resources in terms of testing and checking the worldwide carriers system. So like in the US, as far as I know, there are hundreds of local carriers. So what we actually did is to test the three most important ones, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Since that most of the MVNO carriers do work on those infrastructure, and the test came up positive. So for that reason, we are quite sure that the device works in carriers networks.
Perfect. I'll do two more questions and then we'll go back to the demo. A few people would like to see the camera or how it works, maybe some samples that you guys have. So the next question that I'm going to put here is, does the Kompakt have some kind of SOS feature, calls, emergencies? Have you guys thought about that?
Yes, it's a kind of necessary feature which is required by different certifications. So as we mentioned, we have those countries where we sell phones. In those countries, we have different certifications, like in the United States, FCC, PTCRB, and in Europe, CE, and so on. Those certificates require testing of emergency calling. So it means that emergency calling works in different areas. And yes, it will be available. So, for example, we don't have a specific button for SOS calls, but like users are used to use emergency calling in other phones, you will have, you can set 5 presses of power button to enable the emergency calling, or you can start it from the UI, for example, from the phone application, or from the menu when you press and hold the power button, and there you have like restart, shutdown, so on, and emergency calling is still there.
right, that's good. One question that always comes up, especially in the live streams, is you guys said that you tested WhatsApp, but like, will this have WhatsApp? As in, like, are you guys going to include WhatsApp, or is this on the user's own system that they need to adopt in Sideload?
Yeah, so we will not include WhatsApp in compact released version. Like I mentioned before, actually my dream is to have our own internet messenger that connects to different systems and also connects to WhatsApp. So this is like what we are aiming for. And if everything goes well, we will be sure to announce it, but too early to say anything about that. So to going back to the question, the WhatsApp will not be part of the software that Kompakt is released with.
Sounds good, and that's understandable. Again, you have the ability to test that side loading, and if people don't want it that way, that's okay too. It just depends on what the overall thing is. So we're going to a second demo now at 46 minutes. And by the way, this will all be available timestamp. I've been writing annotations. So if you want to watch this video again and you want to go into a specific part of the live stream, this will be timestamped for everybody. So make sure to like revisit, or if you send it to a friend, it's like, hey, this is the minute that we're going to be looking into a demo or whatever. So let's look into the camera. Let's bring back Kompakt into the picture, and we'll swap places right here. So go ahead, Oktana, show us a little bit more of the camera and maybe a few other things that you guys have with the phone.
Okay.
While Sasha is showing the camera, I would like to comment as a narrator, if that's okay. Sasha, go ahead, show the camera, and I will maybe speak about the use cases, because what we actually did with the camera is to design it to be a utility camera, right? It's not designed for like posting on social media. So we've selected 8 megapixels for the camera, and most of the use cases are about, like, for example, scanning QR codes for eSIM provisioning, or maybe taking a picture of a receipt, or maybe taking a picture of a ticket to the opera or theaters, like use cases like that. So for that kind of purposes, the camera should work fine and well enough. So the camera is actually in color. So when you download the photos to your desktop app, they will be in color, and what we can see is displayed on e-ink. This background doesn't make it like interesting, maybe to showcase.
Yeah, well, probably I need to show it on my camera, because for the compact phone I had a fixed position of the camera, so I'm not able to show there. But for example, this way, you maybe you can pin me, Seth.
Yes, I will switch that.
Visible better. Yeah. So for example, you can see my face here. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see that it kind of like refreshes, and it has, I mean, for being e-ink, right? Like, it's not going to be the full representation. Maybe you can send a picture to your other device, so we could see like the quality. I don't know if you, or maybe you already have loaded something like that. Of course, more people are maybe more interested in the quality that is going to be outside of the Kompakt, right? Like looking at this picture inside of the Kompakt probably won't be the best experience, but how does it look outside of the Kompakt, camera system?
Sure. Sasha, do you think you can pull this off?
Yes, I can send it, but I guess it will not be so quick for the moment, to be honest. Then it will, most probably it will take a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you're doing that,
So maybe let's make it this way, that now we showed you how the camera works itself, what is the responsiveness, and we can send the updates to the Kickstarter page.
That's one option. Sasha, maybe if you want to do that and send the picture, I will cover different area, maybe answer some other questions, or I would like to show one more hardware feature actually, because we have this flashlight, which is a bit unusual for phones, I would say. So we have this hardware feature of warm light and cold light. I wanted to show, with both being displayed at the moment, and now it's just cold and now it's just warm. And we did that for like use cases of lighting up your bedroom when it's dark and you do not want to wake up someone sleeping next to you, for example, because like the warm light doesn't mess up the melatonin system, and the best light before waking up and not to disturb the sleep is the warm one. So for this reason we added two flashlights, the warm one and the cold one into the device.
That's awesome. That's good to know. All right. Okay. So maybe a question also in the camera department is, will video recording be added in a future update, or are there hardware limitations for that?
Yeah. So actually, there are no hardware limitations for that. The reason why we didn't include the movies, the clips in the camera app is mostly because e-ink is not well suited for the videos because of the refresh rate. And we designed the camera to be useful in different use cases, not necessarily taking videos. But this is something that we will certainly consider based on user feedback. So if this is important for our users to have this option, it's absolutely something that we are able to add in the future.
Yeah, and the reason why I can think of it is because since you've designed the camera as a utility, the idea that it is a utility, maybe you need to record something for some reason, or an accident, maybe having pictures and recording can be helpful. And those are kind of like the use cases that come to mind, or like maybe a quick demo of like, hey, this is how you do this in the house, or like, and it's not necessarily 4K, but it's just like the idea of having something pretty basic.
Yeah, it does make sense. You can imagine a utility camera that's taking clips of the videos as well as not only the photos. It does make sense.
All right. Somebody asked as well, sound recorder. Does the phone have a sound recorder?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. Let me show you. Okay, so this is how the sound recorder looks like. Now it's on.
Perfect. And you can just start essentially going for it. That's awesome. That's great. Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. Well, that covers pretty much all the questions from the community, I think. I hope and I know that it will get better, over time, and that you guys will continue to bring a better certification. And we're going to wait for Alexander's to see if we can get some demo of the pictures. But guys, if there's anything else kind of last minute, we have about 10, 15 minutes here max. So if there's something very important that we have missed that you want to know before you go to the Kickstarter and back this product, make sure to put it in the comments below. And yeah, I'm kind of like excited to see how it all works out. I think I saw an MP3 player. So MP3 player music, essentially playlist, albums. That's what you guys are planning, right?
Yes, we are working on the music player, and it will be part of the initial scope for the product.
Okay, perfect.
This is work in progress, actually, the music player at the moment.
Yeah. We didn't ask about this, but it's something that was helpful. You mentioned a little bit in synchronization, but Reed asked if somebody asked about the calendar app. So, the pure calendar app was quite basic. What are you guys planning for that for the future?
Yeah, so compact calendar app will be more feature rich than the pure one. It will allow users to add events in the calendar. So this is the basic difference. Something that we are looking into for the future after the premiere is also synchronizing the calendar with different external systems.
Yeah.
But this is something I'm being conscious and I want to be responsible, so I do not want to promise anything at this point, but this is something we are looking into.
Right, and that's understandable that you're looking into it, you're hopefully developing it, and eventually it'll become a thing. All right, I think we're ready to see some of the demos, and yeah.
Yeah, so I can see that Sasha has done some pictures. Sasha, is it possible for you to show? You're muted.
You're muted right now. That's
Sasha,
okay.
you're muted.
Here, let me. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I tried to make some selfie. Yeah. Anyway, it will look something like that. So
Okay.
picture.
I mean, the detail is pretty preserved. Of course, we're looking at a screen through another screen, right? Like, so the quality is not going to be the most amazing. But I mean, for what I can appreciate here, it looks good. I mean, it's pretty good when it comes to kind of like the reproduction of colors, and that kind of stuff. So I'm excited about that possibility.
I think we can post the pictures online. It
would
be
better. Yeah, post a few samples, of how the offline the camera works right now, and to know that you will continue improving it, right? So that's another part. All right, we're gonna put compact out of the way. Gonna come back to it. And I think one last question that people have is how would you support the software development overall? What can people expect for the future?
Yeah, so first thing we plan to do is to release our design system that we've created. So for the efficiency of creating apps, our software team came up with a design system that includes the graphical elements and also code that could be reused to create apps more efficiently. So first, what we are planning to do, the same year the compact releases on the market, so in 2025, is to post it online. And we are super excited to see what the feedback is for that. And we will move from this based on the response and the community feedback. We are considering like creating APKs in the SDKs in the future, but we will start with posting this design system that we've created.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, and I know these things take time. It takes effort and a lot of resources as well to create a full system that is able to create more mindful apps and better design for e-ink specifically. So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly, because like the design system is specific for the ink, so it could be used not only on this device but also on different ink devices actually. So this I hope it will be useful not only for compact developers but also like for e-readers developers as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Alrighty, is there anything else you'd like to comment on, or ask the audience back, ask me, whatever it is?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay. So maybe I would add some information which will be very important for most users is about languages. So Kompakt will support for Premiere 8 languages. The list of them are, I can list them quickly: English, Polish, German, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Dutch. So you will be able to use them. It means that the whole system and all installed application will be translated into those languages. But please remember, if you will sideload some apps, it doesn't mean that it will be translated to. And also I remember one question from the Kickstarter, which was important, is about special characters in the keyboard. So they will be added to the keyboard, and it means that if one of languages you use, for example, one of Scandinavian languages, which are not supported in translation in our phone, it will still be available in the keyboard. So you will receive corrected appropriate text with appropriate special characters, and also you will be able to use them while typing.
Awesome, that's good. Yeah, thank you very much. I think getting into more languages and accessibility is very important, and yeah, a lot of people are looking into that. Awesome.
Yeah, so maybe I would add one more thing about the device itself. Like we've been creating phones, but also we've been creating alarm clocks. So we created this nice music library of calming sounds. This has always been important in all of our products, for the sounds to be, first of all, good quality, but also designed in a way that goes well with minimalism and the calming nature of the device we wanted to have. So you can expect good quality sounds and designed sounds by us on the device.
Awesome, that's great. That's great, and I'm really excited to see how it continues to develop, and I hope more people get to pre-order it if it's the right fit for their lifestyle, for their device, for usage, and like the things that they want in their life. So yeah, awesome.
So if we are wrapping up, I would like to thank everyone for the insightful questions. I'm really excited, and the whole team is about how people in the community and in the Kickstarter campaign waiting lists are involved. It's super exciting to see how many questions you have. How do you take interest in the product and what we do? So this is very motivating for us, and I'm really looking forward into knowing what the feedback is after you receive the product.
Right. Yeah, and I think one more thing that needs to be mentioned is that the pre-sale or the pre-order. So if you want the best price, is happening right now, and it's only lasting for the next 10 days. After that, will people be able to pre-order on the website or further for, of course, a higher price? But will that be possible?
Yes, so the pre-order will be available after the Kickstarter ends, but the price will be not as attractive as on Kickstarter.
Yes, and that makes sense. I mean, it's understandable, right? Like you're providing a discount for the people that decide to back right now. Awesome. Well, good to know. Good to see the progress. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to see a little bit more of what the Kompakt can do as of now. And yeah, again, I'll leave you with the final word. So whatever you want to say to the audience, this is the time.
Yeah.
One thing, I guess, which is very important for our phone, but we forgot to mention, is about the battery efficiency, because
oh yes, that's a good question.
It's actually one of the most important features of this phone. So maybe, as some of you know, in Kompakt we used a quite big battery for such size of a phone. Is 3,300 milliamperes, and it means that the phone will work quite a lot. Also, please remember that we optimize our own OS system to work well and not drain the battery significantly. Also, the ink, it means that For now, in a standby mode, means when you have a SIM card enabled and the network is connected. So the standby mode works up to 6 days, but we work on it, and here you can trust us that we will have better results, because you can compare with our alarm clock Harmony, in which we achieved up to 40 days of working on one charge. It doesn't mean that the phone will work this way, but it means that we make work on it. And yeah, I hope shortly we will introduce some results of our work and our tests on the battery.
Yeah, no, that's great. It sounds good that it can last for a long time. Of course, everybody has different usage, and you're testing while it's on standby, but different. If you get enough reception, that may change. I mean, there's a lot of variables, but it's good to know that it's a strong battery life for the people. Yeah.
So we hope you will love the product, and looking forward to feedback of the community.
Yeah, really excited too. Guys, I'm going to put the link one more time. If you are interested in pre-ordering the Kompakt, you can pre-order it in the link. Of course, you can go to the Kickstarter if you want to support the channel. Really appreciate it if you check it out there. It's also in the description below. But I'm excited that you guys get to see. We got to see a demo today. Get to see a little bit more, and maybe in the future we'll get to see a little bit more than that. Better quality and all of these things. And of course, I will be reviewing the device once it comes out next May. You guys have it for May, right?
For the US, yes, for the US.
We'll see if we can get you a few extra sneak peeks before then. So really excited for that process. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time with more news about the space. I'm really excited that there are more companies that will come here, talk about their product, and also listen to the feedback from the community, which I think it's the most important part. Listening to feedback and making sure that it's a product that people love, that people want to have, and that they're excited to to hold and to share with their friends. I think that the more competition and the more companies we have listening to the community, the better the digital minimalist space will be. So thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. See you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.